ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ 26ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾಕ್ಕೆ ಭೇಟಿ ಕೊಡುವ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಪ್ರವಾಸಿಗರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ದ್ವಿಗುಣವಾಗುವ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಇದೆ. ಪ್ರವಾಸೋದ್ಯಮ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಡ್ ಶೋ ಅನ್ನು ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾಕ್ಕೆ ಭೇಟಿ ನೀಡುವ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಪ್ರವಾಸಿಗರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ 2023ರಲ್ಲಿ ದ್ವಿಗುಣಗೊಳ್ಳುವ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಇದೆ ಎಂಬ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸವನ್ನ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಪಡಿಸಿದೆ. ಭಾರತದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಪ್ರವಾಸೋದ್ಯಮ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ದ್ವಿಪಕ್ಷೀಯ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳನ್ನು ವಿಸ್ತರಿಸುವ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾ ಭಾರತದ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ನಗರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಡ್ ಶೋಗಳನ್ನು ನಡೆಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇದರ ಭಾಗವಾಗಿ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಶೋ ನಡೆಯಿತು.
Political crisis that happened in Sri Lanka. It was in September that we started off in Delhi, then we went to Mumbai and Hyderabad. We chose as Hyderabad a destination for, especially for MICE market, which Trisam Jayasuriya handles. One key thing that we wanted to do was make sure that the awareness about Sri Lanka, about so much of negative media coverages that was floating in India, we wanted to correct it. This is one of the events that we organize, and even this trip, this is the second round of our road shows, which we started off in Chennai and we went to Cochin and also to Bangalore. Today is our last spot or last stop in our second edition of our road shows. We have more than 40 companies from Sri Lanka who's participating in these road shows. Those companies are hotels, travel agents. They go on to these meet the industry people, one-on-one B2B sessions, which you all can see after this meeting, which we will invite you to go down to the main hall and have a look at what's exactly going on. So once again, first and foremost, before I start any other details, we need to thank the Indian government for always being supportive. When Sri Lanka was going through a crisis, as you all know, about a year ago, Sri Lanka was in dark. We had 12 hours of power cuts, we had fuel issues, the country was stopped, schools were closed. I myself was in the protest sites, we all were in it, but we decided to take a change where the new president took over, and right now we have gotten a bailout from the IMF. We have reached an agreement. We've got the first installment of the bailout, and also there's lots of new tax policies, lots of restructuring that has happened in Sri Lanka. So we're quite hopeful that Sri Lanka will go from strength to strength. And Sri Lanka is a small economy, but it's something that really can offer the world a lot. As you know, our highest income source is the foreign employment, like in Cochin, like in Kerala state. But the second is our tourism. That the infrastructure of domestic air travel is a must for Sri Lanka. I mean, whenever I see India, one of the major things that you see is so many airlines, so many domestic travel that has happened, that have boomed India. So that lacks in Sri Lanka at the moment. That's something that what we will have to really improve. And having more flights from India to Sri Lanka will put even Sri Lankan airlines in a spot where they'll have to compete with the rates, and that will benefit the people to actually witness Sri Lanka. But I'm not saying because I'm Sri Lankan, but it's a beautiful destination for all of you all to come. And what we will do is also, Madam, like she said, we are trying to organize a fan trip for all the trips that we win, and we will send you an application, just write it over. We will consider taking into account of what she said as well. We will tailor make a proper tour, and what we do also is sometimes we get our corporates to help us, so we request that we are bringing these people, so the hotels will contribute, the airlines will contribute, so we do it as a program, and we welcome all you to apply for it, and we'll try to take you all in it. And see, like he says, like I always say too, seeing is believing. You would not understand until you come to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is normal. Unfortunately, there were certain channels in India which completely showed, I mean, they're giving some other news, but when you're looking in the airport, you first see the people storming into the president house. That is the clip they put sure, as a trailer. As the trailer would come out of that, and that really affects the tourism, because people ask, is Sri Lanka safe? Do you have any food to eat? Do we look like we are in hunger? No, we eat. And Sri Lanka is a resilient nation. That's one thing I'm very proud of. They fall back flat, but they wake up and they suddenly get up, and the next morning they take it new, and they fight together on the process again of creating a calendar of events. So for Sri Lanka, again, as I said, Sri Lanka is right around the calendar country. But to your question, to be specific, December, January, February, March is our peak season. Peak season. And next January, we are going to have like the Jaipur festival. We are having the Gold Literally Festival in January, which will coincide with many other events. There will be cultural events. There's going to be a Baila event because Baila came from the Portuguese to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lankan music is very Baila oriented, and we want to get all of those in. There'll be jazz concerts. We are working with Book My Show in Delhi as well. So many other people who are coming here to India, to the north of India, that is Delhi and Mumbai. We're trying to get them down to Colombo as their third leg. So Cochin, Chennai, Trivandrum, all of that areas could come to Sri Lanka on these events. So we will launch our calendar very soon, and we have the Asala Perahara, which happens in August, which is the Candy Perahara, which is very famous. A lot of tourists come for that. There is the Nallur festival in Jaffna is another that lots of people from the south go to Sri Lanka, go to Jaffna for. So there are many in it, but we want to revamp it.
Tourism Bureau is the MICE arm of the tourism ministry. So when we came September last year, started with Delhi, as the minister mentioned. We were not sure like how to revamp and get to the corporates to tell them that Sri Lanka is open. So I'm actually proud to say we have done tremendously well. From January up to now, we have had big groups from Tata Tescon Steel, Hero Motor Corporation. Currently, there are about 400 plus having a MICE event in Sri Lanka. Then we had Tata AIG Insurance, Bosch, Pfizer Pharma, Looping Pharma. So there are so many MICE events lined up at the moment in the near future. So my request for you to report to your customers that Sri Lanka is open, especially the MICE segment. MICE segment is ready, and we are waiting to serve your customers. And the other thing I would like to mention is that we had the first ever in-person MICE Expo in Sri Lanka in March. There were about 80 participants from India itself. So we showcased the MICE facilities, the offerings, the support that could be given by the Convention Bureau. So I'm pretty sure the industry is well aware of about Sri Lanka, but we need you to carry this message to the general public and to the corporates. Thank you.
I'm not going to talk much. I think Minister said the story 200%. But one thing I like to say is, especially media, journalists, influencer groups, we are in the process of, actually the campaign is already on. We are inviting media to Sri Lanka, and especially from Karnataka. We would like to invite you there. My team is outside. Please give your details, because Minister always says, and we believe, seeing is believing. All that negative publicity, maybe some of you also might have reported those about Sri Lanka, but that's negative media can be easily marketed. It's breaking news. I always say that you can't show empty petrol shed, you can't show empty medicine queues, because there are no more queues in Sri Lanka. But still, whoever I meet in the street, or a business leader in India, they ask, are you back to normal? Do you have enough fuel? Do you have enough medicine? Yes, we do. That's why, that's not a news item to go and promote. So I urge you to please take this challenge forward, and I'm inviting you to come on a tour in Sri Lanka as well. There's a criteria that we have, criteria from. Please engage with my team, give your details, and definitely we'll invite you. Now,